Welcome back, my friends. I am so excited to be back with you for another live episode of the F Words of Life. And so whether you're watching this as a replay or you're joining me live, I'm super excited about today's topic. It is going to be unbelievable today. So sit back, get your notebook. This is definitely an episode where you are going to want to take notes. But I'm going to give you a lot of keys here, a lot of bullet points where you can manifest the life that you're truly meant to live in all 7 F words of life. So over the past week or so, what I've been doing is I've been sharing with you specifically each of the 7 F words of life. And so we've gone through the first 5 of 7, and that's a lot because a lot encompasses our life. So we've talked about the fundamentals, right? Self-care, self-talk. We've talked about faith and how we co-create with the universe. We've talked about fitness and how important your physical health is and making sure you're doing the fundamentals in your fitness. We've talked about your family and friends and your core communication and relationships with the people that you love the most. And in the last episode, we talked about finances and how to increase your money mindset and your abundance quotient. And so we've gone through a lot. We've covered a lot of content, a lot of concepts that may be new to you, things that you're being reminded of, what you need to focus on and where you want to level up in your life. Well, we've got 2 more F words to cover, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover those in the next 2 live trainings that we're going to do together this week. And so this is going to be kind of an intermission in our F words of life in terms of covering all 7. However, this really ties into all 7, because if you want to manifest the life that you truly want to live, it's going to be in all 7 areas. But the core concept is the same no matter which area that you're actually looking to manifest or level up. So I want to give you some frameworks and some, just some concepts for you to start thinking about in terms of why is my life the way that it is right now, the condition that it's in. Maybe, I'm going to use finances as a big example since we talked about in the last episode. And, finances, it's very tangible, right? It's very quantifiable, obviously. And so maybe your financial situation is not where you want it to be. And why is that? And, I'm working so hard and I'm working and I'm working and I'm working and I'm working. And I hear this a lot with people. And I had a coaching call today with an awesome client, and she watched the episode from last night and she was like, Brenda, I'm working so hard and yet I just can't seem to get my head above water, in financial specifically. And so what we started doing is we really started getting into mindset around that. What is her thinking? What are her belief systems? Because what I believe is your current reality that you're in right now in all areas of your life is the culmination of all your thinking up to this point. Now, that means if you're going to be part of the community of the F words of life and really jump into these trainings and take the actions that I'm asking you to take and that I'm taking along with you, it's a no victim zone. What do I mean by that? That means I have to have complete ownership over my entire life. That doesn't mean I'm to blame in a bad way, or if somebody passed away. I've lost my mom. It's not my fault that my mom died, right? I didn't manifest that. So don't go off to the crazy part, where it's to the extreme, where you think you have magical powers that you're causing other people to do stuff. No, you have no control over anyone else. You have control over your own life. However, you are the culmination of all of your thinking up till now. So if you've been on the planet 40 years, you've got 40 years of thought patterns and thought processes and paradigms and things that you believe in that you may not even understand or realize that you believe in. You've got old tapes playing in your brain, in your subconscious, that are actually leading to the reality that you're in right now. And so what I wanted to do today was talk about, in the finances episode, I talked about using an affirmation, using gratitude and an affirmation to start manifesting. In my awesome one-on-one coaching call today, my client brought up, she was like, okay, but I still have all this other programming, right? How do I really start reprogramming? Is it just I say the affirmation over and over? What do I actually do? What's the actual process to start overwriting that and reprogramming our brain? Because we absolutely can. Okay? We absolutely can. And so what I wanted to give you today is one key. And truly, it's the one key to success. And you know what? It's the same one key to failure, which is an F word, which is an important one because we learn through our failures and we can reframe failures. But what I'm talking about is if you're just living a mediocre life, or you're just barely keeping your head above water, you don't have direction and you don't really know what you want, that's part of this key. So the key to success, are you ready? You want it, right? You want the key to success. That's also been leading you to some failures, is we become what we think about. This is going to seem like a really simple concept. However, it is so powerful. We become what we think about. And it's what we think about consistently, perpetually, over time. Like I said, think of it as, for those of you that are old enough, remember what records are on record players? And they had grooves, right? Your brain is the same type of thing. You've got loops that go consistently into the same thinking over and over. So if it's finances, let's use that F word as our example. I can never get my head above water. I work so hard and I just can't seem to get paid what I feel like I'm worth. And it's this negative pattern of thinking that you're doing. Now, you're doing that unintentionally because we're bringing this now to your awareness. And we're going to talk about how to shift and change that. But what I want you to recognize is where your current repetitive patterns are. So you're on that record player and you're in that groove and you just can't get out of it. So we need to break that pattern, and that's what we're going to talk about today. How do we break that pattern and start reprogramming? Okay? But the key to success, and the key that's led you to any failures up till now, is we become what we think about perpetually and consistently over time. And the thing with this is this really is irrefutable. This goes back. If you study philosophy, if you study the mystics, if you study spirituality and even religion, even in the Bible, it says, as you sow, right, into the ground, as you sow, so shall you reap. It's the same concept. What you're putting out there in terms of your thought, what you're planting into your mind, into the soil of your mind and into the soil of the universe, is what you're going to reap. So when I did the faith episode about a week ago, you can go back and watch that, and I talked about co-creating with the universe. I used the example of farming and planting a carrot seed into the ground and growing a carrot, right? We know that the principle and the law of the universe is if we plant a seed into fertile ground, we're not going to question it. We know that the crop is going to come, whether it's a positive crop or a poisonous crop, because it works the same way. So guess what? Your thinking works the same way. Your mind and the mind of the universe that you're co-creating with is the most fertile soil that you could possibly find. So therefore, what's the beauty in that is if we plant positive seeds and we really focus on our burning desires and what we want most in a specific way, we get to manifest all that positivity. The soil will provide it. If we focus instead and we're planting negativity into the soil of our mind and into the universe, we start producing that negativity, and that's where we feel like we're not getting the results that we want. And so one thing that I want to say is what I'll ask people oftentimes in coaching and in workshops, facilitating in groups and smaller groups, what do you want? And immediately, almost without fail, people will start listing off everything they don't want. And it's like they can create that grocery laundry list immediately. I don't want this. I don't want this. I'm tired of feeling tired. I'm tired of feeling sad. I'm tired of feeling angry, right? I'm frustrated. All of these things. I don't want to feel this. How many of you have been guilty of that? Me? Yes, 100%, right? I don't want to feel this. I'm tired of not having enough money, right? I never have enough money. That is planting the negative seed into the soil. Let me tell you why. Because your mind and the universe does not hear the word not. Okay, let me repeat that. Your mind, the soil of your mind, and the mind of the universe, God, if you will, does not hear the word not. So if you say, or don't, right? Do not. I don't want to feel crappy anymore. What does the universe hear if we remove the don't? I want to feel crappy. And this is the truth. It's really the magic. This is the secret of life. It truly is. And like I said, it goes back all the way through history. I don't care which religion you look at or which philosopher you look at, which mystic you look at, the current teachers in this space of new thought, going back to Napoleon Hill in the 20s. Think and grow rich. Thoughts create. Thoughts are things. Earl Nightingale, same thing, in the 60s, repackaged a lot of what he learned from Napoleon Hill, which is amazing stuff. And so it's just bringing it into this modern age. We've never had more opportunity than we have now. We're more connected on a global level than we ever have been with the internet and social media. So you can't tell me that the opportunity to manifest and to create and have abundance isn't there, especially if you're not living in a third world country. And even there, you have opportunities, right? We all have opportunities. It's never been easier in many ways to manifest, and yet because of that, we forget about the supercomputer that's between our ears. This is the supercomputer we need to be tapping into. So remember, as you sow, so shall you reap. So your thoughts create. They're things. Consistently, calmly, and cheerfully, we're going to start looking at how to shift that thought. So the first thing, so this is your plan, all right? This is your instruction manual right here. So this is what I want you to write down. And what I'd like us to do, whether you're watching this live, whether you're watching this later on the video replay, whatever the case may be, what I would like you to do is I would like you to do a 30-day experiment, okay? What's the worst that can happen if you do this consistently, right? And it doesn't work. You're not going to be in any worse position, so why not try something that's going to be easy, that's going to be a daily practice that you're going to do for a few minutes multiple times throughout the day. That's all I'm asking you. And if you say, Brenda, well, why should I do that? And I'm going to say, well, do you want to live your highest and best life? Do you want to discover your purpose? Do you want to be able to give back to others? Because I find that people really want to give back, whether it's just to their immediate family, which is critical and important, or whether it's on a global level, or whether it's anywhere in between, right? We want to contribute to the world. We want to contribute to people. We want to create and manifest. So the first step, there's going to be 5 steps, okay? The first step is you have to identify what do you desire most. Now, for the 30-day experiment, I'd like you to choose one thing. Now, not that you're going to manifest it in the next 30 days. So let's say in the next 18 months, your big goal is, and what you desire most, and what's really going to motivate you to take action, to get out there and work hard, which we're going to talk about tomorrow in the next live video. So look for that video as well, and we're going to talk about the work part of this. Today we're talking about the thinking part. It's going to be both our thoughts and our actions, but it starts with our thoughts. So let's say in the next 18 months you want to buy your first house. Right? Let's do something very tangible, something that's very meaningful. There's nothing shallow about that at all. To want to own your own home, to provide that space for yourself, for your family, whatever the case may be. So if that is your number one kind of burning desire, you know, hey, I want to see this, I want to taste this, I want to feel this, you've got to get clear about what you desire. Maybe it's your finances. Maybe you're struggling right now with debt. And so your goal is, I actually want to eliminate my debt and be debt-free and create surplus and abundance in whatever amount. Now that might take you 18 months, that might take you 2 years, that might take you 6 months. We're not going to focus on the time or the how right now. I just need you, I'm asking you, begging you, imploring with you, please get clear on what you desire. If all you know is what you don't want, guess what you're going to get more of? What you don't want. So you must, step number 1, get clear on what you want. When you are clear about that, I want you to get some kind of note card, piece of paper, something preferably that's like kind of a card stock, like a 3x5 card, or I know those do still exist even in this day and age, or it can be in your phone. If you want to type it in your notes and pin it to where it's the top thing where you can look at it and see it, that's great. But it's something that's got to be something you can carry with you. Put in your wallet, put in your purse, put in your car, put in your phone, okay? What you're going to do is you're going to write that down. And you're going to write it down like we did the affirmation yesterday. I am so blessed and grateful. I am so grateful and blessed that. I like to start with gratitude first. I am so grateful and blessed that I own my own home. That's it, okay? I am so grateful and blessed that I am debt-free and every day continue to increase my income and abundance. What do you want? Get clear on your desire and write it down. One thing. And it can be a big thing or it can be a small thing. It doesn't matter. I just want you to focus on the biggest thing that if you could see it and believe it to be true, you know what? If I could teleport you. Let's say I can teleport you 12 months from now. And Jen, I see you on, so I'm going to use you as an example. So yes, you say it as though it already happened in present tense, with gratitude. That's very important. It's not in the past, it's not in the future, because if it's in the future, the universe is going to hear, oh, you're not ready for it yet. No, right now, I am so grateful and blessed that I own my own home. I am so grateful and blessed that I have a great relationship with my children. So it can be relationship based. Think of the F words, right? Which F word do you want to focus on? One F word, one focus. Really distill it down. So what was I going to say? Okay, so if I could teleport you 12 months in the future, and let's say it's buying your own home, and I could take you there, and you're standing in your own house, your beautiful surroundings, you can see it, you can feel it, and you look back at the past 12 months of how diligent you've been with your thoughts, as well as the actions you've taken to help you get there, which we're going to talk about tomorrow when we talk about fulfillment, because you have to do your part as well. Okay, but if I could take you there, all right, and now we're back here in present day. 12 months is now, it's in the future now, 12 months. But you know it, you see it, you can feel it, you can taste it, you can smell it, right? You know that it's going to come true. The question becomes, does that then motivate you to get out there and do the work and move your butt and do whatever it takes to make that happen, right? You're working towards that. That is number 2, is you have to see yourself with it. You really have to vision, and I'm not kidding, all 5 senses. I mean, what does your new home smell like? What does it smell like when you walk in the door? Who's there to greet you? Do you have animals? Do you have a backyard? What does that look like? So I'm using something extremely tangible so that you can just latch onto this concept, but you can manifest anything in the same way. Okay? You have to get clear on the what or the where. So where do you want to go, right? I want to go to New York City. Well, are there 1,000 ways to get from San Diego, where I am, to New York City? Probably, right? We're not worried about the how right now. We're worried about the what or the where, however you want to think about that. What do you desire most? Where do you want to be in your 7 F words of life, and distilling it down to one thing? So first step, what do you desire? Get clear on it. Second step, see yourself with it. Visualize it, see it, feel it. What would it feel like to feel debt-free? What would it feel like to have 6 months of savings in your bank account so that if an emergency comes up, you're able to do that? And when we talk more about finances, we're going to talk about creating spending plans. We're going to talk about creating savings plans, because you must be paying yourself first in terms of putting it into savings. It's just a critical key component. If you read The Richest Man in Babylon, it's one of the key components to that, which is a great book on finance, one of the best ones you could ever read. It's written as a parable. It's amazing. So second step, see yourself with it. Third step, what's going to happen? All right, Brenda, I got clear. I've got my affirmation. I know what I want. I've seen it. I've felt it. However, I still have all this old programming, right? That's going to come in. That's going to say, you know what? You can't ever do that. You know what? Your parents never owned a house, or whatever the negative thinking is, right? It's going to come in. Let's acknowledge it. Let's not pretend it's not going to be there. That record player and that groove that I talked about at the beginning of this training is deeply ingrained in your brain. So in 3 days, if you start doing this, in 3 days from now, you call me up and you go, Brenda, this is BS. This doesn't work. It's been 3 whole days and I've been doing my affirmations. Look, if you've been having bad thinking for 30 years, right, unintentionally, it's going to take you more than 3 days. That's why I say minimum of a 30-day experiment, just to play with this and have fun with this and see what you can do. You will amaze yourself, trust me. But the old negative thinking is going to come in, the stinking thinking, right? It's going to come in and get you. So here's what you do. You become aware of it. You start going, you know what? I'm not worthy of my own home. What the hell was I thinking, right? That's going to happen. Bring it to the surface. And here's the key phrase that you're going to say. This is how you're going to start scratching the record to break up the pattern. You're going to say these 3 magical words. Up until now. Okay? Up until now, I wasn't worthy. Today, however, I'm so blessed and grateful that I own my own home. And you're going to go back to your affirmation, and you're going to go back to your visualization, and you're going to embody that. But how you're going to break up that thinking and bring yourself back to right now, right? Not the past, not your past experiences, not your past failures, not your past poor self-talk where you were telling yourself you're not worthy, right? Or that you don't earn enough money, or whatever the case may be. All of those things that are the roadblocks to you getting to where you are. Here's what I want you to do. Acknowledge it. Thanks for showing up, old message. Up until now, that was the truth. Today, I reclaim my new truth that I am a beautiful homeowner, and I'm so grateful and blessed that I own my own home. And you go back to that vision. That's the reason I want you to have it somewhere where you can read it. I want you to read it when you first wake up in the morning. So that was step 4, by the way. Claiming your new truth. Okay? So I'm going to run through it real quick. What do you desire? Get really clear. See yourself with it. Vision, visualize, taste it, feel it, see it. Okay? 3, the stinking thinking comes in. We knock it by saying, up till now, thanks for showing up. And then with cheer and calm and clarity, we restate our affirmation. And if you can say it out loud, even better. I am so grateful and blessed that I own my own home. I am so grateful and blessed that I own my own home. Okay? And then that was the 4th step. Claiming your truth. Saying your affirmation. Revisualizing it and feeling it all over again. And then step 5 is release it. Again, when I talked about faith, I talked about planting the seed. And then, okay, well, if it's not popping up after 2 days, do we go start digging in the soil, right? And messing everything up? Or do we just keep tending to it? Making sure it gets sun, making sure it gets water, making sure it gets love. That's what you have to do. So the 5th step, if you will, is release it. Believing that it is already coming true as you release it. You're releasing it into the soil. See it. You're just planting it. You're watering it. You're loving it. The universe is working with you on it. Underneath the soil, it's happening. Trust that it's happening. So release, if you want to put trust, write that down too. Release and trust that it is happening as we speak. Okay? One of the keys to this is, if you conceive it, I believe that you can manifest it. If you conceive it, if it's in your mind, if it's in your heart's desire, you can manifest it. Okay? So the sequence is, you have to conceive it and get clear on it. You have to believe it, right? You've got to believe that you can, even if you fake it till you make it right now. All right? That's okay. Fake it till you make it. Believe it. Brenda said I could. All these other gurus and masters through the centuries, not the past decade, through the centuries have said this is how it works. This is the principle of the law of the universe. Okay? Believe it, then you can achieve it. 100%. So you release it. So then another negative thought comes in. You're going to have the same thing. Up till now, that's your new phrase. Up till now, that's the old me. The new me says this, and I claim my truth. And for any negative thinking, it doesn't have to just be about this one thing. You can use this. So let's say you get up in the morning and you're feeling not great, and you put on clothes and you're like, God, I'm so fat, right? I feel awful. I look awful. No. Up till now, that was my old way of thinking. I'm fabulous just the way I am right now. I'm continually working on myself every day to get better. So with anything, you can start to shift this, use this formula to be able to just shift your mindset, shift your thinking, shift that thought process in your brain, start reprogramming it. And the universe, what I know to be a fact, will provide the how. What I find is people are fearful of doing this because they're like, well, I don't know how I'm going to do that. I don't know how I'm going to earn more money so that I could buy my own home. I don't know how I'm going to pay off all of my debt. I understand. But that's where your faith comes in. That's where the belief comes in. That's where the releasing and trusting comes in. You do your part. Tomorrow, in the next episode, we're going to talk about fulfillment in terms of your job, your career, or your business, because you do have to do the work. You've got to get out there. You've got to have earning potential. You've got to be able to generate income. We're going to talk about that in terms of what you're doing and the diligence and the self-discipline and how are you going about that in your mindset also on a daily basis. How are you showing up? Are you doing more? Because you do have to pay the price. This doesn't come for free. Okay, unfortunately. Paying the price, part of that is doing this work, right? Doing the internal work where you're reprogramming your brain, where you're being intentional with your thoughts. The other part of the work is getting out there and taking action, which is what we're going to talk about tomorrow, and being diligent with taking action. So with that being said, if you're on live and you have a question, pop it in to the comment section. If you're watching this as a replay and you have a question, please feel free to leave a comment, leave a question. I'll get in touch with you either one-on-one or reply back. Because if you have the question, I guarantee you someone else has the question too. And there really aren't any stupid questions in personal development. The only stupid question is not asking one, because honestly, we're all here to learn and grow, including me. Like I said, I learned so much from my amazing client today. If she's watching, she knows who she is. I appreciate you. You really helped me remember this one piece of the puzzle, the up till now, which I hadn't talked about. Like, how do we just shift from one way, that awful thinking that we have and that negative rat, on a wheel, right? The hamster on a wheel. How do we start breaking that pattern? And it's that up till now. So 30-day experiment. Whenever you're watching this, don't start the experiment with your one thing until you get clear on what your one thing is. So that's your first action step. What's your one thing that really is kind of going to be your motivation, your why, what you really want to focus on achieving most, leveling up, getting more out of life, whatever that might be. Maybe it is your faith. Maybe it's finding a spiritual community to become a part of. I don't know what it is for you. That's the beauty of this. You get to do it for yourself. Jenna has a question, so only one thing at a time. Not necessarily, but if you're brand new to this and you're doing the experiment, one thing. Because like I said, a big thing like buying a house for some people, that's going to be a long-term motivation. So you could have a long-term thing, and then let's say at the same time you want to start working on your fitness and you want to start walking 30 minutes a day. I think both of those are doable at the same time. What I don't want you to do is say, okay, I'm going to do 15 new things in the next 30 days. You won't have success, and you won't have long-term success, which is what I want you to have. You might have short-term success and be able to sustain that for a very short period of time, but for the most part, in terms of changing your habits, changing your mindset, now you can, like I said, if my focus is buying a home, right, that's my one thing, but I notice my thinking starts veering off into negative about my, like I said, my physical appearance, or about my relationships, or gosh, no wonder I'm single, nobody wants me. No. That you can start changing right now. Just in the moment. Nope, up till now, that was my thinking. My new way of thinking is this. I am lovable. I am worthy, right? I am beautiful. I have so much to contribute to the world. Who can I serve? Who can I take care of? Who can I reach out to and give back to? Because giving back is a huge part of this, which is, again, what we're going to talk about tomorrow. So hopefully, Jenna, that helped and I answered that question. Please, again, if you have any questions, have any comments, reach out to me. I had another person reach out in the last 24 hours asking and seeking for some advice, which I was happy to provide. So, again, I'm here to serve you. I'm here to provide the tips and the tools and the training so that we continue to hone our mindsets and hone our skill sets, because that's going to be a big part of what we're going to talk about tomorrow. And so we've gone a little over half an hour, I think, today, a little bit longer, but I hope this has been of fantastic value to you. Please, again, if you're watching the replay, leave a comment. Let me know what was valuable. Direct message me through Facebook. Please go to the fwordsoflife.com and share your email address with me. The weekly email is like the newsletter, which is going to have more tips and tools and different things that you can use, all for free, right there in the email. We'll be starting this week, so please make sure you get on the fwordsoflife.com and share your email address with me. You'll get a free download of a quiz that you can take to assess yourself in all 7 F words. Like the F Words of Life on Facebook, like the F Words of Life on Instagram. I greatly appreciate that. Like and follow. The links are always in the intro to this video, so if you click on the comments where it says see more, you'll be able to see those links. I greatly appreciate it. Jenna asked another great question. Does the affirmation have to be out loud versus internal? Both. Out loud is the most powerful. And I'm not kidding. Like saying, I'm going to stand up. I'm going to block my banner, but that's okay. I'm not kidding, Jenna. I mean, it's like look in the mirror and be like, Jenna, you are a rock star. I am so grateful and bless that, and say your affirmation, right? You can say it in the mirror. You can say it in the car out loud. However, also, let's say you're in a meeting, right? We all are in meetings and things that, you know, we're in an appointment. You notice you're thinking, oh man, I'm not going to get this deal. I'm not going to, this person isn't going to buy from me, whatever the case may be. Just stop it right there. Nope, up till now. What's my new thinking? I believe in myself, right? And so you still can do it internally as well. I just want you guys to practice doing it out loud. It feels so weird at first. Believe me, I get it. However, you'll hear it. It's you're literally talking to yourself out loud, and there is something really powerful about that. And you can use your own name. There's something about using your own name too, and like, Brenda, you got this, right? Giving myself a pep talk before I go on and do a live episode of the F Words of Life. Sometimes I really have to do that. You know, this isn't the easiest thing to do. It's very spontaneous. I have my framework, but all the words that I'm going to say in between, I don't always know exactly what that's going to be. When I get questions asked, I don't always know what those questions are going to be. So, you know, talk to yourself. Give yourself that pep talk. I want you, again, my purpose is to be here to serve you so that you live your best and highest life possible in all 7 areas of the F Words of Life. So I'm here to serve you. Thank you to everyone that was here live. It was really great seeing lots of names pop up. Love seeing you. I will be back tomorrow evening at the same time. I will post you a reminder so that you know that. And so we'll be here the next couple of nights doing more of the F Words of Life. Tomorrow we're going to talk about how to show up and take action. This is really key. So if you watch this whole episode, tomorrow's critical. Show up live if you can, and you can be here. If not, watch the replay, because it's the full then formula for your keys to success. But number 1 key to success or failure is we become what we think about, consistently and perpetually over time. So be aware of what your thoughts are. They're extraordinarily powerful. Thoughts are things. Thoughts create. The energy that you vibrate is vibrating back to you. So if there's any place in your life where you're less than happy 100%, let's start changing your thinking around that and then living our best and highest life. So thank you everybody for being here. Thank you for watching. It has been a pure pleasure and joy, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of the F Words of Life. Thank you, everybody.